Go ahead.
I know it's funny.
Talk your shit.
What we doing?
Oh, we going.
Are we on?
We're on.
What's going on in the world? What's going on, man?
You just look so upset with the space right now.
I am, man. Disappointed with the fact that.
Go ahead, say what you need to
Put some
say.
slides on, man. I'm not finna do no interview with you and you ain't got no. What? Come on, man.
Does it actually upset
He's in here
you?
dressed like the Rock nephew, man.
Don't listen to him. I'm not gonna show myself, but I'm basically dressed like him right now.
He looked like an ex-NFL tight end. That's how he dressed right now.
All right, whatever.
He did 4 years at San Jose State and then went to the Chargers.
No, so he's upset because he looks like he fights in libraries. That's the problem.
Damn, that's funny.
Sorry. How you been?
I'm all right, man.
It's good to see you. It's good to finally do this. You want to talk some shit? Go ahead.
No, I just want you to put this.
you really want the slides on that bad?
Man, come on, you got your toes out. You got your toes out on another grown man.
See this? Look.
All
My
right.
toes are still out. My toes are still out.
Now,
You see these toes?
it feels less threatening. Come on, man. I can't trust nobody with ankle tattoos, man. That's hey, man. Do you understand what?
Go ahead. Talk your shit. We can get this out the way. We can
Man,
get this out the way.
got on.
Go ahead. This whole podcast is supposed to be about learning about you, but if this is what this is gonna be the whole time, it's gonna be roasting and all. Is that what this is gonna be?
Nah, man. Let's do what we doing, man.
Nobody's gonna learn to think about you.
Welcome, everybody. What's the name of the podcast, man?
Join the Journey podcast.
Join the Journey podcast, man. You got Larro, the comedian, special guest to the podcast. This has actually been a long-awaited one. I've been invited a few different times to do this, but what's cool is this is that I am 1/3 of the more funny comedy groups that We Got Jokes. So me and Aaron Chase are in the same group. So if you hear us go too far off the ledge, it's because we're already good people with each other. It's nothing of harm. It's harmless. We're having fun, and Aaron's a good guy, and Aaron knows the same. But yeah, man, join the Journey podcast.
Here we are. Yeah, I gotta ask. When I know you started in in Champaign.
Hey man, don't disrespect me like that, man. You knew where the fuck I was from.
I know
man.
you started in Champagne.
Don't call my shit Charlotte, man.
Tell me about it.
Is this the reason why you?
Oh my God.
Yeah, man.
This is gonna be a headache of an episode. I can feel it.
Man.
You gonna make this shit hard.
Yeah, man. All right.
When you started in, Champaign, Illinois.
Yeah,
right?
man.
You grew up in Champaign, Illinois.
For sure. Champaign, Illinois, born and raised. Started comedy there too 9 years ago. It'll be coming up on 9 years. I want to say November around my birthday. So yeah, but started comedy there 9 years ago. Not understanding what I was doing, but understanding I had a plan, and the plan was just basically to not back down and go get what I wanted.
So what was going on right before you decided comedy? Like what led you up to that?
That's a good question. A lot. I was doing a lot. I was having kids. A lot. I really don't want to be specific, because if I be specific, then I got to get stories behind everything. But I was doing a lot, man. Being outside, I was just outside. So okay. I found outdoors interesting and everything that came with it.
My time in Chicago leads me to understand what that means now. When you say you're being outside, okay. I understand what that means now.
Okay, so you get it then.
Yeah, I get it. We don't need to.
I want to hold the mic like LeBron be holding it during the press conference.
So you're outside a lot, right?
Yeah.
You're outside, you're doing stuff that you probably shouldn't.
This is how LeBron holds it. Go ahead.
Is that how?
That's how LeBron holds it.
You're outside doing shit, and you having kids. How many kids did you have before you started comedy?
I had 5 kids before I started comedy.
Oh, okay, so you only added one more after comedy.
Yeah, so
okay.
That's another thing with me. Like, I didn't need comedy to get nothing other than what I wanted out of it, because I see a lot of what goes on in it. People do stuff for certain reasons, and then doing stuff for certain reasons. One of the reasons be getting some coochie. I had kids already, so me having kids, I was just like, I know what it's like, so I'm cool. I'm gonna just try to go get everything for the kids that I didn't put on this earth.
So you're having kids, you're doing your thing, you're doing, let's say, not so savory behavior.
Okay, facts.
Okay.
I give you that.
Yeah, and then what made you decide, like, how old were you, and what made you decide that stand-up was going to be the move?
9 years ago, I'm 38, so it was 27. a good friend of mine by the name of Reinard Wilson. I had a lot going on at that time too, man. I think that's when life really started happening for me. I had a cousin that was killed unjustifiably, and then I had another cousin, female cousin, that was killed by her boyfriend. And then I had a friend that was killed, and another friend had died in a car accident. It was a lot going on. And like I said, I was outside. I was doing a lot. Gang banging and selling and just anything that comes with just being in outside kid. So yeah, and I didn't know what I was gonna do with myself. And it was like right after I graduated college and didn't know how I wanted to play it and didn't know what I wanted to do. Because shit, I thought I was gonna go to the NBA for a long time. I ain't gonna lie.
Really?
I did.
Would you play in basketball in college?
Yeah. And what was crazy about it was that's when I'll give you a funny story real quick.
Okay.
So I went to the penitentiary.
That's hilarious. Let's. Jesus Christ! I'm gonna tell you a hilarious story. So I got locked up.
Nah, because we'll talk about that as well.
Okay.
But I went to jail, and after I got out of jail, I went right to college. You know what I'm saying? Which was unheard of. Yeah, I went right to college.
Mm-hmm.
I had an AAU coach by the name of Tory Dukes. He was my AAU coach. He was like a mentor, a big brother, and a dad like figure to me. He took me to Kansas City while I was on parole. This is not supposed to do this. You can't leave the state of Illinois. I mean, I'm way past statutes of limitation. But he took me to Kansas City to this exposure camp. My big brother at the time, this nigga looked like the Hulk. He like 6'7", 260. He was already at the junior college and had alerted his coach like, hey, man, my little brother gonna come.
When you say big brother, you don't mean literal blood. You mean like is it like an organization to help young youth?
No. It's my big brother.
Oh, your actual, okay.
No, we're not blood.
But your brother.
But I literally knew this guy from the time my big brother went to jail. He was literally right there. And from there up until right now, he's always been there with me. So I'd be disrespectful to not call that man my big brother. Because he's been there for me. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even went to college. So, yeah, I ended up going to college. And I had played a little bit of organized ball, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And I never took it serious. But when I got to college, I was like, no, I could do this. It's like, oh, shit. Allen Iverson made it. He was a small guy, and I just had this vision in my mind. And it's the first game. It's these things called it's these practice games called jamborees. It's where you scrimmage against other teams from across the little county that you're in. And we were playing this team. I think it was like either Dodge City or Kobe. It was a team, really big team, right? And they're in the layup line. And their starting point guard is 6'6", starting shooting guard is 6'5", starting small forward is 6'7", power forward is 6'9", and their starting center is 7 foot. And as we were in the layup line, everybody was just laying the ball up. They're like, oh, man, he going to the University of Oregon. He going to the University of Cal. He going to the University of Michigan State. And the game starts. And I'm the starting point guard in this position. This nigga 6'6". He just stands in front of me. And I try to do every move. And this man would not let me go past him. It was literally that day I said, yeah, it's time to start selling weed.
And you were in college.
And that's when I started selling weed.
Okay. Yep. So you're in college, you're selling weed, you realize basketball's not the move.
I still was hooping though. I was still hooping and shit, but
right.
It was more so like I was just doing it to not let my mama down more than anything. I literally was just in college because I knew I embarrassed my mama by going to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I got to redeem this one. I got to pull a firework out, one of the biggest fireworks you can. And I think that was probably that was the dopest thing you could do because that's like unicorn-like shit. You go from the penitentiary because, going to jail in any instance, they always say you can't recover from it. And my whole mindset was never. I didn't know what it was going to take to not let my mama down, but I knew that would have been something that she would have been proud of, so that's what I took and ran with.
I bet your mom's a very sweet woman. What was... Ooh, that was a drive. We could talk about that. But what got, if you don't mind me asking, what got you in jail in the first place? If you allowed to talk about it. If not, we can just move past it.
Being a real nigga.
Okay.
Being a real nigga.
Being outside.
I think I should have said. I don't know if I can even talk about that type of stuff on camera.
It's all good.
But yeah, I just being what the rappers and stuff said was the right thing to do. And
did you feel like you were influenced by that?
Yeah, that's pretty much what my life was. It was influenced by music. It was influenced by product of your environment. Literally, that's the reason. That's how them kids got there. They tell you to get all this money, get all this power, get all this respect, do all this shit to get where you got to go. But after you have these kids, what do you do with them? They don't tell you that. You just see that, they get the baddest women knocked up. And, yeah, that's my baby mama, like, they don't tell you what to do after that. Mm-hmm. So then you just stuck figuring it out on your own. So, yeah.
And then jail, I mean, when I think of jail, I don't fully understand the difference between jail and prison.
Okay.
You were in jail.
Both of them.
Okay.
Well, you had to go to jail to get to prison anyway.
Oh, okay. All right. So the jail is the baby step to prison.
Literally.
All right. And what was that experience like for you?
The county jail is always just like a bunch of pretenders.
Okay.
It's just people in there telling you about stuff that they weren't doing in real life, in the real world. So, they ain't got nobody they can really stand there and vouch for them. So they'll put it on anybody and tell you about anything that they was doing. And the whole time you knew them. You've known them outside of this place, so I know you're not like that. So the county jail was pretty much just me at that time I was young, too. I think about I was like 19 in the county jail and not even recognizing that I'm really about to go to prison. I didn't recognize it. So I'll give you a fun story about the difference between jail and prison. Once they come get you in the middle of the night, it's like a Thursday, 3 o'clock in the morning. They come chain you up, shackle you head to feet, basically, and put you in this truck. They take you in this. They put you in this bus. They put you on this bus, drive you. I want to say about an hour. I don't know how far Stateville is from Champaign, but drive you to a place called Stateville. Stateville is the Department of Correction intake. That's where they take you in, process you. Get all your tattoos and your mug shots together, and they process what penitentiary across the state of Illinois they'll send you to. That place is real and scary. And I think anybody who's ever been there, I don't know if anybody who's ever been there or if anybody who's going to watch this has ever been there, but Stateville is really a scary place. And it's only a scary place because I think it's built is built to break you. I think it is. It's built like a gladiator stadium. It's scary in there. It's scary in there, and it's like it's all these bullpens around. There's a bunch of people in them. Some of these people naked. Some of these guys in there crying. It's a bunch of shit going on. So just fast forward through the story. They finally give me a cell. When they give me a cell, they give me a cell with a guy who had just came home from beating a double murder, who was in currently on a double murder, and an accomplice to an armed robbery that turned into a murder.
So he's just being outside a lot. Like he's never going inside.
So fact, but once he had beat he was like he had beat the first two, so he knew no face, no case. So something I learned that in jail from this guy.
You said no face, no case?
Yep.
What does that mean?
If the police can't prove it, they ain't got no face to prove it. It ain't no case. So he always said this, and like 3 days before he went to court. 3 days, I'll never forget this. And I think I probably tell this story the most because this is when I recognized, like, I knew that I had a heart of the biggest of lions. But it's like 3 days before he went to court. I'll never forget this. And he was pacing back and forth, and we both were in the room. Most of the time, I stayed up on my bed and tried to stay to myself because I didn't want to be in his way. He in there for a murder, a double murder pending. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to stay out his way to the utmost. We talk, here and there, keep our little conversations. But for the most part, I've been in here for 90 days. I haven't talked to my mama. It's about the size of your bathroom.
God, this is a prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about the size of your bathroom. It's me and another grown. It's probably a little bit bigger. But, we don't know what time of day. You don't know nothing. You just in this room. But he was mapping it out in his mind how he was going to get, how he could beat the case and all this other shit. And as he was standing there, he started doing all these push-ups. And then he was like, I ain't going to lie to you, Sally. He said it's going to be a tough run in here if I don't beat this. And me as a 19-year-old kid didn't understand why you would want to hurt me because of something you did wrong.
Was he? That's his implication. Like he's going for you if he doesn't get out.
So here listen to the story.
Okay.
So he says this, and I'm in the bed. I'm in my bunk. And I got my feet up in my bed, so I'm like holding my legs like this. So when he said, I'm kind of like my eyes are wandering and shit. So when he said I lock eyes with him, I could see that he's dead serious. Like. Basically, what he's implying is that if I don't beat this murder, it's going to be a war in here every day. It's just going to be a war in here every day until one of us end up dead. That's basically what the situation was. So Knowing that 3 days, 72 hours, just sitting there, heart racing. I ain't talked to my mom, my big brother already in jail, sister. You know, like I ain't talked to nobody, so I don't have nobody to process this with. It's just me as a 19-year-old kid, knowing that if they got enough proof to say he did it and he know he going down, he gonna come in here and try to hurt me, and to the point where I might not make it back to my mom and my sister.
Big dude.
About your size, literally. A little bit muscle built though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like not using. Okay.
I don't need to get that big. I have no intentions of going to prison.
But
Fuck
yeah,
that.
and see that was the point. I think he had already knew. He had mentally had his mindset on the first one. So when he was in there, he was push-ups and doing dips and stuff.
What was his logic of? Did he ever explain like why? I mean, because it sounds like it'd be easier for both of y'all if he gets locked up for real to just chill. Don't leave each other alone.
He ain't got nothing to lose.
All right.
He's in jail for a murder. He's in jail for a double murder at this point. So I'm in here with nothing to lose. My life is going to be in the rest of this little place. They're going to put me in a hole in Menard, in a place where it's 24-hour lockdown. I'm in a maximum security prison. I don't see nobody for the rest of my life other than what I'm able to see on TV, magazines, and pictures. I have nothing else to lose. Those bodies, they're gone. So it ain't going to hurt me no more to let them add another sentence to what I'm already knowing I'm not going to make it out on. So, of course, I'll beat your ass until you die. So
it sounds like it just breaks you.
I don't know what happens. Okay. I knew what I did.
What'd you do?
I remember the day they came and got him. Like I said, it was 3 days later. And it's like the doors aren't that big, but they're big gates, and you'll hear them like calling in the door to open up the door, because they got to call into a call thing, like open up this one, or they'll do it with the key, and you'll hear the door open, but it takes forever to open.
Yeah.
So you got to turn around and you got to let them put you in handcuffs. And that was the last thing I seen in his face was him looking at me as they putting the cuffs on him so they could take him to court. And this had went on for a couple of days, because he was in court. And this was the last day of it happening. And I'm in the bed, just sitting up there. No, I wasn't. I was doing push-ups. I got to doing push-ups and sit-ups and push-ups.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect, and I was scared. I was really scared, man. I couldn't call my big brother. My mama wasn't there to defuse it. My daddy wasn't there to be able to, if it was really tight, for him to take the bullet. Wasn't nobody there. This man told me he was gonna beat the shit out of me until them guards came. So I had to figure out the best way of understanding how to do this. So I remember hearing the doors open, and I took my shirt off, and they give you a pair of slides that look like the slides you got. And
were his toes out?
Yeah.
Is that why you?
And you got a pair of shoes. You see, I got PTSD. That's probably.
Okay, go ahead.
But no, so they give you those in a pair of shoes, and I put my shoes on. And when I put my shoes on, he was coming in the gate. I had hair at this time. I don't know if you remember my mugshot picture.
Yeah, I've seen
it.
Yeah.
Right before that mugshot picture. No, it was right after. But I had plaited my hair. I was able to braid my hair down in plaits. So I had like these big chunky plaits around my head. It was literally right after that mugshot. That's where all of this shit happened. That picture, that place where that picture was taken on that mugshot, that's where all of this shit happened at. So I had braided my hair down in some plaits. And they opened the door. He was standing there. He was standing there with a straight face. Just straight faced. And I didn't know what to do like that. But I seen his face, and I just couldn't fold. I just knew something. It's like that's where my daddy always told me look a man in his eye anyway. So I always know like, if I ain't interested in what you're talking about, I'll be like, or maybe if I'm just busy and I'm trying to do some other shit, I'm not gonna be looking you. But I just had to look at his eyes, and I couldn't read them to the point where I'm just like, is it disappointment, or is it success? Is it happiness? What happened? And I can't read his face because he kept a straight face the whole time. So finally, the doors closed. When the doors closed, I stand there and say, hey man, I don't know what you think gonna happen. And I'm crying my face off. I feel it, but I can't stop my face. And my hands feel heavy. Both of them feel heavy. And I said, I don't know what you think gonna happen, man. I said, I can't let you do this to me, man. He starts stepping closer and closer to me. And as he's stepping, I go into a stance, and I'm about to lunge at him. And as he see me lunge at him, he take me and he bear hug me. And I'm taking these deep breaths, and I'm waiting on him to either try to body slam me I'm trying to figure out what is this what he got me for, and he ain't moved. He got me in a bear hug, and I'm like this, and I'm like, we like face to face when he right here. He said, "Hey, little nigga, whatever that is you got in you right now, you keep that with you for the rest of your life." I beat that shit, and he ain't pushed me off of him. He pushed me off of him like, relax, and I'm standing there. I feel my eyes bloodshot red. I was just like. So I'm trying to catch my breath. We gotta take a break. No, it's good. I know exactly where we at. All right, so I catch my breath. As I'm trying to catch my breath, I'm recognizing this man just said he beat 2 murders, man, from Chicago. And I'm like, wait. I want to ask why. I want to ask how. I want to ask 1,000 different questions, but it ain't my business. But what I do understand is God ain't never left me. When I ain't had nobody, I always had God. And the heart that he built me with was always the heart that I always kept. Because it was nobody there to protect me. And all I had was these 10 knuckles. And I was willing to do whatever it took to figure that out. Now, here go the craziest part of the story right here. The guys in the cell next to us was basically in the same situation. The guy was already sentenced. He was going to do like 7 years or some shit. His cellie was in, because most of the time when you fighting murders, I guess in Chicago, it's too many murders here. Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But it's too many that go on here. So sometimes they just send people to Stateville and they just sit in there. Because it'll be like they fighting a double murder or they got 2 other cases. So they just send them to Stateville. So another guy, he was already sentenced to whatever time he had been sentenced to. And his cellie was doing the same thing and was facing a murder.
Exact same situation. Okay.
Beat him to death. I heard every minute of it. Every minute. I heard every second of it. Every second of it. And that shit never leaves my mind, man. Just hearing, we watch the door close and all you hear is a bunch, and you hear it. They're just in there going at it. Just, hey, man. And then you hear the dude who finally started losing. He said, come on, man. Come on. Then you hear, and he just and they got quiet, and then you hear somebody like choke. And that choke, that's when I understood what was going on. Now, mind you, I'm 19. Turn these lights on, come up there and get this nigga. When they come get him, the guards don't even have the respect to pick the man up with them. They drag him out by his feet. So we looking through this little threshold where they feed us our food through. We looking through this little threshold. The man's slightly still alive. His eyes rolling in the back of his head. I'm looking at him like I'm looking at you as they sliding him, and his eyes rolling to the back of his head, and he just like, and I'm looking at that shit like, that could have been me. That could have been me. And that's when I understood that I was special, because God, that could have been me. That literally could have. That dude was big, man. And everything in me knew that I was gonna go for whatever I knew. I mean, I ain't backing down for no fighting, no challenge or nothing. But I did understand that, you know, you built from a different pedigree, knowing that you finna spend the rest of your life back there. Ain't gonna hurt me to take one more down. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that and watching how that played out, I said God got me, and I could never look back from that point. Even when I got into a little scuffle in the penitentiary, I never backed down. But it was just smart to back down. And that's like a lot of stuff that you see me deal with now. This is repetitious. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn how to be patient. I had to learn how to let shit play out and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's a funny story about.
Yeah, it's hilarious. That was real funny, man.
I thought it was. Because I look back at it now like, man, that's crazy. Like, you really done been through some shit.
I've never heard this story from you. And it makes sense. You sent me a while ago, you sent me like a meme. It was a man with a lion's head on it.
Yeah.
And then it says some shit like, "Don't be a pussy, you alone," or in this world, or some shit. It was whatever you said. It was essentially like people get afraid of you when you realize you can do it on your own, or something to the effect.
Yeah, that's literally what it said.
Do you feel like this moment and all of this is what shaped who you are? Like, was that a moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. 3,000,000%. Because, like I said, you see what you don't. you hear about a couple of the back end stories months after a lot of that stuff that happened. But I'll have to deal with hearing somebody play with the fact that I ain't gonna be able to send my daughter a cash app because they want to be funnier than me, opposed to the fact that, okay, he trying to feed his kids, and I'll have to remember, you was in a space where you really was in a life or death situation, and remember how you had to keep calm. And I've seen a lot of different things in those type of instances. I've seen a man get killed. I've seen a couple people get killed with my own 2 eyes. And when you see stuff like that, you just kind of respect life a lot more delicately. So yeah,
it makes sense. You make more sense to me. You make more sense. It's a positive thing. It I know we've had miscommunications in the past.
Right. I give you that.
And
the fact that you cut your sideburns.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just
go ahead. Let's hear it. You got your sad story in. Let's hear the punches. Go ahead. Go ahead,
man.
We've had miscommunications in the past, and I think part of that is just upbringing and life experience.
Yeah.
I would say I would never compare the type of violence that I experienced to the type of violence you have. I would not say that is a one-to-one thing. But I would say that I think what has always drawn me towards you is I do think there's a parallel with us in one way or another, and I'm still trying to suss what that is. I get the this drive that you have and this focus you have is something that's incredibly admirable to me. And since we started, I don't know when we started talking. Do you remember when you met me? I don't remember.
Bartend.
Oh, Jesus, that's not good.
They shitted on you, and they shitted on you bad too.
What happened?
They shitted on you bad, and that's just been my gist of things, is that I bully the bullies. Where I'm from, I'm a well respected. I am the king. The king. Let's just get this on camera. Make sure I got my glasses for. I am the king of roasting. Where I'm from. So I bully the bullies. Like, I always like to roast, but I don't just prey on the weak. Like, I'm not. You see how, like, with you and Ty, I don't let people like too much go too far on y'all. I'll catch it and go at a person before I let somebody else do it.
I'll start by saying I know what you're getting at. You've just implied that I'm weak, and I don't like that.
No, it's not that you weak. In roasting, you are.
All right, I'll give you that. I'm not the best roaster.
That's what I'm saying. So when I say stuff like that, you got to keep it in the context of what we talking about. So
sure.
Like praying on the weak, ain't nobody knowing that. They don't know you for roasting. And then if they do try to roast you, you'll take offense to it more than you'll be wanting to be like, oh, see, you see with me, I warn everybody, because I don't have a problem with it. I'm a trained, skilled professional. Like the dude from Taken. What's dude's name from Taken?
Liam Neeson. I don't know the actual character's name. It's Liam Neeson.
But yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like Liam Neeson. I have a real set of skills to do that type of shit. So opposed to me, and they'd be like, "Oh, Jason," and you'll be like, "Dude, I don't even know you. Why are you?"
Yeah, and for me, in my upbringing, roasting wasn't a game. That's not a joke. That's. I came up with white people. If they're making fun of you, it's because look at this fucking nappy hair, this little nigger, and like that. That's not when people like my instinct and my reaction to that is because it was never a joke. Ever. Nobody was ever playing around.
Oh, okay, it makes sense now with you now. Why you take everything so serious?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, but it makes sense though.
Yeah.
It literally makes sense now, because you could look at it and be like, oh, okay. Because you had zero tolerance to people pointing. Like, I had to play. If I didn't play it, I probably would have been in a bad space myself. I had to be in a happy space at all times, because if I wasn't being me, so many people were watching. Since a kid, I've always been the leader, and didn't recognize in certain points, like my closest family and friends were watching me. So that's when I had to recognize that, okay, everything's being watched. And that's kind of how everything started mapping out for me, is that I had to move with the pizzazz of a leader.
So you get out of prison.
Yep.
And how old are you at this point?
19, 20, 21.
So you get out of prison at 21. We got 5 kids now?
I got out and had the kids.
You had another one?
No, I got out and had the kids.
So prison first, then kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get out.
And that's why I was like, I was outside. I was doing a lot at that point. A lot of stupid shit, too. A lot of shit, me personally, I don't feel like I could be even proud of saying. At some point, I'm going to talk about it. But, yeah, it's like, man, that shit was bad, because my upbringing was way, 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 way different than that. What we at on time?
We're good. Okay. I'm just.
But yeah, my upbringing was just way different than how I was going about shit, and it was wrong.
You weren't raised to do all that nonsense?
Hell no.
Your mom didn't seem like the type to.
Hell no. I used to get whoopings with plastic bats, them wiffle bats.
Yeah.
From Toys R Us, I used to get whoopings with those type of things. Whoopings with broomsticks, whooping with belts.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I got disciplined well. So a lot of the shit that I started doing after I graduated was just me being an idiot. That's it.
So you come out, you're jizzing everywhere, having kids.
Right.
And then what was that moment? Because I'm still curious about the moment where you decide I'm going to be an entertainer. Because that's a hell of a shift to be making. Yeah.
Wasn't a lot going in my favor. And that's what I'm still getting back to it because I remember that was the original question. But I had those kids and they needed stuff. And I ain't had no money. Low-key still don't now just because I'm still trying to figure it out to be able to do the grand scheme is to be able to make sure, positively, financially, the kids is good. But it was just like they needed stuff and time, and I need to be able to get to them, and I had no other way of doing it. And selling drugs wasn't going to be something that was going to always be comfortable doing. And at that time, and I think that was like the 2009, 10, 11, 12s, 13s and stuff, like selling drugs was hard. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wasn't doing it. Like right now, everybody, there's a Zan dealer on each corner. But it was like when everybody wasn't doing it, and everybody had a specific way of going about doing it. So, yeah, man, it just got difficult, and I had to find a different way. Go ahead.
Have you ever had like a regular job?
Yeah.
What jobs did you
work? I worked for the school district where I'm from. I've been a special education teacher, a special education ed teacher, bus monitor, a bus driver, worked for Finish Line.
No, all those jobs.
Verizon. I was a manager at Verizon for a couple years. That's how I got here.
Manager at Verizon? You don't seem like the type of guy who you don't have the personality to do that type of stuff forever. That's what I get from you. You don't like to have a boss, right?
Right.
You like to move. You like to move with a sense of freedom.
Not necessarily freedom with a plan that's going to benefit that I could feel good from. Working in a job never felt like it was going to work for me. It never felt like it was a outburst of a plan. Like I'll be walking through here with sometimes with nothing, and I'll have a plan, and that plan will start playing out, and then y'all start seeing the benefits of what I said. Do it, it'll start coming too. But like when I was working a job, most of the time when I had that money, I had to do so much shit with it right away. I couldn't make no way out.
There's no savings because you don't have right.
I couldn't make no way out with that shit. So I was just like, I never cared to let somebody. I never called nobody my boss. I never did that.
Okay. Tell me if this makes sense to you in terms of our tendency to have miscommunications. Your logic and your experiences of why you're not saving money because you don't have you're not in the situation to save money.
Not really.
I think it makes sense your reaction when I'm like, all right, now let's take some of this money and we'll put it to this, this, and this. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta move, man. I gotta go.
No, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying I'm piecing together.
Man, you got no water in here?
Yeah, I got. I offered you water.
You did, but my mouth didn't got dry now.
I got you water. Talk. Say things.
But you had to ask the question.
Yeah. So.
And now I just answer the question as you.
So. In our interactions, where do you think we butt heads the most? What is it that we don't seem to connect on the most? All right, let me get you water.
I think with you and how we I don't even think it's we bumping heads. You want it bad, and what you want bad, we already got. You understand? Like I'm saying.
What I want bad, we already got. Please elaborate.
Like the second city, for an example.
Yeah.
Like you want everything to be ran off of what your knowledge to what you already know to be done.
Yeah.
You want that to be implemented, and you want to be able to show your skill set. But we all got the same skill set. I went to college, and performing arts was one of my classes. So I don't know if I know as much as you, but I know once we got to Second City, I'm like, oh, this ain't heaven, but this is something close to what's going on. We ain't got to work hard, and this is everything that we work hard. And it's like, okay, Aaron Chase saying we're going to do this. I'm like, come off the button. We don't have to bust our heads right now. It's going to be a time where we're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
But you were trying to be so strategic in doing that, and that's why I was like, you just let it. While we have a chance to relax on this shit, relax on it because it's going to become a big deal to the point where it's going to be like what we see some of the names of the stuff in the city of Chicago with comedy shows be. So I'm just like, no, man. Until we need the strategics, relax because I've seen it. Like I've been doing this for a minute and been doing it a minute. You will know when the uproar is coming, and you'll feel the quiet before the storm. And the way that we was moving, we had it going, but it was so particular on your end. I'm like, no, Chase, you ain't gotta move like that. Stop. And that's what it was. So you just wanted it all. You wanted your skill set. You wanted your skill set to be displayed in how we worked, but it was already being done with that.
So you feel like what I do in my skill set is going to be more utilized when shit gets even crazier in the future?
All of us. Because think about it, man. Ty is an amazing dude because he's cerebral and he's able to work in any type of environment. And at any given time, he can turn on, turn off, go, and like this. With you, it's an understanding of it's the same thing.
Cerebral.
It's literally the same thing, and it's just you learning the comfort of who you are, and you telling the people who you are instead of you trying to convince them you are who you are. Because once you just go and just, oh man, like it or not, I know this shit funny, or like it or not, I am who I am.
I think I'm close to that. I feel very close to you good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I feel
pop my knuckle.
I feel very close to, and I don't think it ever ends. You're always changing and developing or whatever. But that feeling of like, I just am who I am. I feel I'm a hair away from that, and I feel like this time I've spent in Chicago has pushed me to be there. And, you gonna say some shit?
No, I'm saying I agree with you.
Oh, okay. And you, Ty, and Rachel have been insurmountable in my change as a person.
Yeah, I can agree with that as well. I think Rachel gets the award though. I don't think nobody should take the credit for what Rachel did because I think Rachel needed your help to help find herself as well. Because I watch a lot of how y'all counteract off of each other. I think she finds out a lot of what she wants out of a man. I don't know. But just on what I'm seeing. And her being the person that she is, because I love Rachel. Yeah. Just the person, and then her comedic anecdote, like the way she punches, I love it. So,
aggressive.
Out the gate though, man.
Yeah.
Rachel's a handful, man. If you ain't never seen Rachel, I mean, like the second time I seen her perform at the Laugh Factory, I forgot how the joke went. But it's the way she said it, and everybody gasped for air. Rachel was like, okay, y'all offended? I'm like, and then I was like, hey, man, you funny as hell. And then she started breaking down the joke to me. She's like, I'm just saying. And then I was like, oh, you really don't give a fuck. I was like, okay. So, yeah, I think Rachel gets that award, And then just for me and Ty, like, we understand. Everybody understands each other. And it's just like, for me, that's my phone.
You need it?
Yeah.
You need to check it. It's all good. Everything okay?
Yeah. Ain't nobody from... I don't know how I got here, but let me get out of there. But yeah, I think for me, like even going to jail, I think was learn how to deal with personalities and people. So that's why even seeing you, that's why I be telling you, I'm like, man,
go ahead, say
I know niggas like you, man. Like no, I'm just saying, I'm like, man, I seen it before, like the movements that. And it'd be like a guy who hadn't seen his dad. It'd be like a guy who mama and daddy wasn't around, was raised by a TV, or was raised by the internet, and was raised by what he seen his big brother do. I was raised by I was raised by the ghost of my big brother. You know what I'm saying? Like my big brother was a real gangster. He's a real gangster. We had to take time, but my big brother, he's a real gangster, and I was living in the shadow of that, and I didn't know how to be no gangster. I just wanted to play basketball like Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I seen what my big brother did, and I thought it was cool. I watched my big brother load guns. I watched my big brother bag up weed. I watched my big brother bag up coke. Like I watched him do a lot of shit. So I thought that was the way I had to get it done. But then as I got like old and like in the middle of my teens, I'm just like, this don't feel right.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't stop like figuring out how to do other shit. I'm like, okay, well, it's something like what he do.
That's That's a key thing that I've been talking about with people recently, and that is young men need guidance from older men.
Yeah.
And it sounds like your older brother, your guidance, no offense to him, it seems like it guided you down the path that wasn't for you.
No, for 100%, but it wasn't for long though. I didn't use that road and that route for a long time. It was just once I recognized, like, I ain't no tough guy. I just don't like being played with, and that be my thing. And knowing that I got my big brother and my mama and my daddy in me, because they both all three of them are lions, you know, in different retrospects. You know what I'm saying? And they did it at different angles. Like my daddy didn't have to show you that he'd shoot you or hurt you or anything. Or my big brother didn't have to hurt you. Like, and my mama for damn sure didn't have to do none of that. She just killed you with God, and she let, you know, like, God. I feel like God and my mom work together. Like they got a phone call that they do for each other. That's how much she get done with just believing in herself and God. So, yeah.
I think on my end of things, maybe whatever you're picking up on, because you're saying that you've seen guys like me, right? You okay?
Keep going.
Okay. You saying you've seen guys like me, this whole I look niggas in the eye when I give a shit about what they saying. I'm out here trying to express my feelings to you. Nah, but you've seen guys like me. And in my whole upbringing, my grandpa was my father figure, and he died when I was about 14, and then he had dementia.
Oh.
So when I was about 12, he had dementia. Everything okay?
Yeah, I said this is rude. I'm just trying to see something real quick.
It's all good, man. There's no rush. The audience, whoever y'all are, you'll wait.
Okay. My bad. Go ahead. We good.
You good?
Yep.
Okay. My grandpa was my father figure. He was.
So wait a minute. You really don't know your daddy?
I know him. I'll explain it. So boy, some of this shit I'm gonna have to say off camera.
Okay.
But my dad and my mom, we'll just say, hooked up, and then I exist, and my mom's a wild personality. This is me saying I used to say real mean shit, real awful shit about my mom, and it was bad. It was real bad. There was a lot of mental manipulation.
Okay. I ain't even mad at it, because I had a friend of mine that grew up, and I used to get mad at him. He pissed like, you recognize that's your mama, right?
Yeah. Well, it's she's mentally abusing me. She's mentally and emotionally abusing me. She's not doing it physically, but she's mentally getting in my head. And when I'm expressing my frustration, everyone's telling me, that's your mom, man. You got to get over that.
Oh.
And you know, you get to an age, my grandpa's not around. My dad is sporadically around. But you get a certain age, it's like, I'm bigger than you. Don't get in my face. Don't yell at me. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, and I can understand why. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary. On a parental end, because they're kids like that. And like I told you, it's not, when I say I seen guys like you, it's like I seen it before. Like I got a homie like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My little brothers, they're mixed, and they act like that. No, real life. I have two younger brothers that are real life. Their mothers are white, but we have the same daddy. Yeah. And they think it's okay to talk back and call their mom out their name and talk back to me, and like they think that shit okay. Like it's a chain of command. Like my big brother, I don't give a fuck how much wrong he do. He's my big brother. It's just my big sister. I don't care how wrong she be in a lot of the shit she do, but she's still my big sister. It's a chain of command. It just looks like I'm the one that's calling the shots, but I'm definitely not. And I'm not the smartest in my camp. I'm probably one of the even keeled ones, but I understand it's a chain of command. I feel like the reason why it happens like that with guys like you, though, is because you never had to experience the fact that leadership was something you had to go abide by.
What do you mean? Because I feel I'm disagreeing, but I want to hear the full thought.
So, like with me, my mama used to always, I used to always hear my mama tell my big brother, like, I don't care what you do, that boy going with you. Like, and my brother would have to take me wherever he would go. If he get into fights, like he'd be beating up people, and they be having fights and shit. So my big brother would let me go with him, and they would be stealing, and he'd be like, don't do it. Don't do that. Like, go stand over there. Go wait by the door until I'm done. You know what I'm saying? And then after they done got done stealing, he'd run out the store. If I ever catch you stealing, I'll knock your ass out. And in my mind, I don't want to get caught stealing because if he knocked me out, he's also gonna tell mama and daddy.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So the chain of command, like I knew I couldn't exceed disrespecting my big brother. And there was a time at one point, I think me and my big brother fought. And I mean, of course he beat my ass, but it was the fact that he understood that I wasn't backing down from it, but it was the understanding of me saying, that's my big brother though.
So for me, my chain of command was my grandpa.
And that was it.
And then he was gone.
And once he was gone, he would, hey, you know that's your grandma, you know that's your mama, right? Hey. You're right, Chase. You're right, Aaron. You're right. You didn't have that no more. And so when you start thinking that you were bigger than her, that's what that play came in at.
Well, so with my mom though, I never disrespected her. I never talked back. I never got aggressive. I got close to it, but that's because she was relentless and she was mentally ill. Like my mom is not a stable person.
Okay.
And so, you know, you're under this person financially, you're under this person in authority who is not making sense, who's screaming at you crazy, talking about how if I got a bad grade, I'm gonna go to prison and get raped and shit, like crazy shit to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And
so is your mom white or black?
No, she's very dark. She's about your complexion. Yeah.
So how you end up light skinned like that then?
My dad's real light skinned.
So your daddy look like Drake daddy.
My dad's like Rico Suave type of dude. Yeah. He real smooth with it too. But
that's fucked up. You didn't get to have him around then, because I mean, you probably could have learned some shit that made you not want to be so mad, want to fight your friends with jiu-jitsu and shit for no reason.
I wish. Like I've tried to make that connection. It's gotten better on all fronts. With my mom, it's gotten better. With my dad, with my sister, all my relationships have gotten better.
I can see it too. 'Cause when your sister came here, I could see the effort in you. That's the reason why I started fucking with you for real. When I saw your sister come here, I was like, Aaron trying.
What do you mean?
I was like, he trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
Like you're genuinely trying to be a better person, because I remember a couple times before that, like the very first time we met, you was really butthurt at Bartend behind them people not talking to you. I mean, about the people not accepting your jokes.
Yeah.
Because I think it was the very first time you started doing that jiu-jitsu joke.
Yeah.
And
that was early on. I shouldn't have tested it at Bartend. That was not the move.
I told you. But you did it, and when you came out the stage, I had talked to you. I don't remember exactly what I told you, but I'm like, hey man, this is practice. Like don't let that shit waver on your brain. Like that's not gonna be they're here to do exactly what they're doing. You're not from here. It's an away game. Understand that every away game is going to be against you. So you're still going to have to shoot the shots that you practice in California or when you're in your room. Like this is your home court, but ain't nobody here. So this is practice. So then now you're in practice in front of a live audience, and that live audience is just grooming. I remember having that conversation with you, and it was that point. You kept coming around, like I'd just be in the corner by myself. You'll find your way over there fishing around. Hey, Larro.
Go ahead. No, do the accent. Go ahead.
What's going on, Larro, man?
Why do I sound like Kermit to you?
That's like Kermit to you. Listen, that if y'all listen to this, listen to how you sound.
But
look,
Christ, I'm gonna punch you in your fucking face.
See, and that's why. Look, man. Hey, Chase, Daddy, if you watch this, come hug your son. That's what he need, man.
He visited. No, but
he need a hug, man. This man be trying to fight all the time. It's because he's smoking the wrong weed, and he ain't got no hug from his daddy, man. That nigga need to come grab him, man.
But it's gotten better because of my male relationships. So like when I moved out here, I was like, it's on a few fronts. It's like you and Ty, those are like a brotherhood.
Okay.
And then in jiu-jitsu, I got my Professor Greg, and I don't know him. Like it's only been about 8-9 months, but he to me is more like a more father figure. He's like, because he whooping everyone ass. Like he's teaching me how to fight.
Okay, I get it.
He's so far, and I've not said any of this to him. Like I go there and I do my thing and I go home, but he has the energy that I needed growing up. And so it's like and I was the oldest brother, so I have two younger brothers. They're twins, and we're like 10 years apart. So and they're artificially inseminated, and they're white. I'll show you a picture. Yeah, they're white, like white.
That explains why you walk around with your toes out. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. This nigga got twin pale brothers.
So
this is worse than the Ricky Lake show.
You old. Ricky Lake, that the reference you making?
Mm-hmm. 38, man.
You old ass man. Do you dye your shit? You should be graying out.
I got a couple gray hairs. I don't really need to.
Okay.
Only thing we got is this little
patch.
Yeah, that little patch of child support and
that stress.
Cancellations of shows. That's where that's at. That little patch you see is cancellations of shows and figuring out how we gonna pay child support on time.
But my relationship with you and Ty is like brothers, and my relationship with my professor is like more father figure.
Okay.
And it's helped me calm down. It's the understand. So like when we went out to that goddamn Blue Lives Matter bar, all that bullshit happened. It's like that was the first time anybody looked like me that had my back, that was with me. I'm from Whitesville, so if I'm in those situations, it's me alone. So this is the first time I know, and I didn't mean to drag you guys into that.
Yeah, and
which
that's
I felt bad about.
No, because honestly, and I'll tell you this, most of the time I let motherfucker mind their business, and you know what I'm saying, let her see how it's gonna play out. But you could tell the way you defend, the way you went to attack Mo. I'm like, he think it's just gonna be him. And that's why I kept looking at you like, relax. And I'm looking at you like, I don't want to say it out loud. I'm like looking at you like, just relax, man. I'm not gonna let nobody. We gonna get shot together in this motherfucker, if anything. Like, and that's why I'm just. But if you just relax, we don't have to do that. I got a plan, and the plan the whole time was I'm just gonna throw it back in their face.
I'm with it, and it's like, I agree. You're right. I think I even said, we were yelling in the car, and I was like, nigga, you're right. I agree. You're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. And it's like, I just need I need people to be patient. I had no patience. Like, no one was giving me patience growing up.
I see it.
So when I have a moment like that, yeah, okay, let me know. Chill out.
Trip.
Yeah.
That's why I just listen, because I could have got mad and be like, Chase, what the fuck are you doing? And they would have seen us all look like idiots.
Sure.
And so I was like, no, man, it's not that deep, because having somebody we got a time on it?
No, we're good.
I was finna say, having somebody, you don't even gotta have nobody to have your back, but knowing that somebody got your back, you be like, okay, you know, that moves a little different with me.
To respond then to because I don't think I responded to your meme, the lion head and the do it alone. I don't think you're wrong, and telling your prison story in particular gives me context as to why you feel that way, and I don't think you're wrong. At the same time, community is key. Community is important. What you're around, who you're around, who you associate, it will either lift you up or pull you fucking down.
That's a fact.
And so I'm with you on I got to worry about me above all else. I got to focus on improving myself, so on and so forth. But I also have to have community. I need people around me that got me. Because if I'm just trapped back in Riverside, where, no offense to whoever's from Riverside, this is not an attack on you. But if I'm trapped in Riverside where I don't feel that,
I got you.
So that's where I'm at. But moving to comedy, unless you got something you want. Okay. So you've been making moves, man. I see it.
God, man.
How do you feel?
Shit. Like God working, because you just when you make the clips in the edit, I need this part. But
okay.
You let the Deion Sanders said it is the best, and my dad as well. Just keep the main thing the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing. And when you do that, it's gonna be a lot of noise. It's gonna be a lot of stuff you're gonna hear that's gonna distract you, that wants to distract you, wants to discourage you, wants to, waver on your spirit and on your energy. But if the main thing is the main thing, you get what you just said. You know what I'm saying? You get to hear that your name is being respected amongst elites. And not only elites, respected in other realms and different states and different cities as well. So for me, like I said, man, it's keeping the main thing. The outside noise.
Ty's calling. Hold up. I'll put him on speaker. Ty.
How'd he do there, nigger?
You on the podcast, man.
Wait, what?
You on the podcast. I'm with Larro right now.
Oh shit, y'all together? Okay. What's up, niggers?
Hey, bro, you're sad. You just said how'd he do there.
I'm gonna call you at the end of this.
Alright.
We about to wrap this shit up, man. This nigga here acting like Howard Stern, bro.
You mean a great interviewer?
Hey, better Howard Stern than Adam 22.
Yeah, don't ever. All right, I'll call you back later. Another time.
Nigga said, how'd he do there?
He said, God damn.
That nigga Tyrese need a friend, man. That's why y'all good with me, because y'all needed some friends. And I don't really need no friends. I just don't like seeing y'all. I didn't like seeing how they was playing y'all. I didn't like that shit.
Please elaborate.
Bartend, it's like lunch period.
Mm.
It's like the lunch period. It's like the cool guys in one corner. It's the goths, the mess, the nerds, your rappers, just everybody in there, you know. And it's like off some strays that don't got nowhere to sit with their food. You know what I'm saying? They just want to eat their food. They just want your stage time.
Yeah.
And
I think. Sorry, you want to say more?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You just want your stage time, and you just want to be somewhere comfortably to eat your food. So while you in there, as you're trying to eat your food, now you got to eat it standing up. And as you turn to do that, now you got to eat your food, and everybody making fun of you eating your food while you just want to get it off. So yeah,
it's. So I still plan on going back to bartend, getting to Francis when I have the fucking vehicle to do it and all that. And I think I've come to a place. Where it is what it is when it comes to that.
I think it's a stepping stone. I don't think it's a place that you can continue working your craft out at, because if you continue to do that, you gonna be a bad motherfucker. Like, honest to God. Like, if you would just go to Francis and bartend, because they both back to back. It's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. If you would just work them 2 rooms for like 3 months, you wouldn't need no other rooms, because those are the 2 hardest rooms, I would probably say, in Chicago.
Yeah, I agree.
I would probably say, yeah. So those are the 2 hardest rooms in Chicago. And if you work that like that, you just go every day and just go up there and do your shit.
The problem is getting on stage. First off, for me to get to Francis is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And then with bartend, it's like, look, I have the utmost respect for how it's run, because it's not. I'm like you said, this is a away game for me. This is not where I'm from. This is how it's run, and I will respect how it's run.
Yep.
But it's like I can't spend every Wednesday going down there, waiting until 1 or 2
dice.
It may be getting on stage.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's tough, because I want those skills. I want to get, but when they did Gladiator School, my heart lit up. Remember that?
We all got excited back there.
Oh my God!
Thought it was supposed to scare some people off, and it was gonna stick to it. But yeah,
I love that. I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want, because we going boom, boom, boom. Let's see who's funny.
We might have to incorporate that vibe at Second City on an open mic vibe.
I fuck with her. We'll
Edit
talk
that out to keep that, but yeah.
You have to remind me.
But that's something we could do. Gladiator School, not necessarily that, but just
We'll
something where we'll have people throw like paper planes or something. Because Second City is creative enough for us to be able to improv too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it also makes it fun and creative enough to where you don't feel like you got to go to places like in the places that we're in to try to get that type of stuff. And this is good fun as well. You don't have to feel like.
Do you feel like? I'm gonna try to figure out how to word this, because I don't want problems in your life.
Man, here, man.
You were saying everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You were saying that storm's coming. When you get success, there's gonna be problems. There's gonna be bullshit happening.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like that right now? Do you feel like you're dealing with bullshit right now?
No. Business is business.
Okay.
Free Young Thug. Business is business, man. The stuff that come with this shit is what come with it, and this is a part of the business. And when you understand it, it's a part of the business. You don't take it personal. So I think any of the stuff that I go through, it just be like a part of the bit. It just it's what comes with being one of the big dogs. So I got real life problems, man. I got stuff that I could really be worried about. Didn't worry about what's going on as some other comedians and what they feel and how they feel about it. I'll pass.
You said something. There was a human being who said, "Man, why you fuck with?"
Yeah.
What? And I don't know who this is. You have not told me who this is, nor do I care.
And I'm not gonna tell y'all either.
I don't need to know. It's fine. Why do you think? Why do you think me and some people like me and Ty are perceived that way? Before you answer, my thought is like, and Ty said this on his episode. He's like, he doesn't bother anybody. He minds his business. He doesn't bother anybody. For me, I know I'm a lot, but I think if you give it a second, you just talk to me a little bit. You know I have good intentions. You know I'm not out trying to cause problems. What do you think that perception is? Where do you think that comes from?
You're not part of the in crowd. Like, you don't fit in with what the mode is. You don't wear Jordans or Gucci or have a nice chain, or your dreadlocks ain't twisted up. You don't know none of the you don't know the know-hows, and then the people that you do know, you know them through somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I said, it's like a pissing contest. So when they look at it, it's just like they see me. And I guess I'm classified as a cool guy. I just feel like I'm just me. And then it's just kind of like Ty. Like, he's a cool little nerd. And then Chase is like, he's a personality. He's a personality. And then you see me, and you know, I'm always high. I'm chilling. I'm cooling. You know, like, I ain't even really trying to do none of the extra shit. I'm just here to tell my jokes, get the fuck around. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like with y'all are easy targets to what goes on in those realms. It's like y'all are easy targets. So they would assume.
What do you mean?
Because Ty know what he doing.
He's smart. He real smart.
Ty know what he doing, and you're learning that you got it. And with you learning that you got it, you figuring it out. It's just like, that's what's fun about watching, helping, and coaching people who don't understand what they're doing. Watching it play out is that when they finally see that some shit like man, Larro went through this, and this, and this, and he told me this, and that's pretty much a shortcut of answers from what he told me he went through, and I'm right where he at with this shit. And that's the whole understanding for like with us. You know what I'm saying? We cut a lot of leg work out for each other, building what we built, what we got jokes, because we, like I said, I always say that, man. I was like, hey, man, we wasn't supposed to get that on the individual. We probably wouldn't have got that on the individual, but to collectively have a mindset to figure it out and for the betterment. Because I don't trust people. That's why I be so quick to say I'm quitting. I don't care, man. I'll be like, man, fuck this. I'll figure it out my own way. You know what I'm saying? But so many different ways. Y'all needed guidance. I needed somebody to get the guidance to, that I could trust and understand that the guidance that I was given was going to get them somewhere. And not only get them somewhere, they was going to get other people with it as well. So that's why I have fun talking to you and Ty. Because Ty listen and Ty see it, and then you see it, and then you listen, and y'all just take the shit and work with it. And then I'll be listening to y'all as well. Like, y'all say shit that I have to pay attention to. And I don't be able to. It's a lot of stuff that y'all talk about that I have to really pay attention to, that I didn't necessarily think that was a deal. Like the fact that when we be up here and I be messing with you, and I say certain shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, when y'all do that, it really don't register to me. I'm like, oh shit, it really is a deal. And y'all not saying it like Larry's being a jerk, but you're like, hey man, watch it.
Yeah.
Recognize what we doing.
We don't want you to get in trouble.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
I pay attention to that, and that's why I started saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I get it now, because paying attention to what y'all do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot watching y'all. But you know, from the comedy realms of it, like I learned a lot. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm in a good space, is that I play with pure intentions.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt nobody. I'm here to help at all times, and God know why I'm here, and I'm here to explain while I'm here, but not explain to people while I'm here.
Sure.
The stage is my stage time to explain why I'm here.
I know you got more shit to do, so we'll wrap this up with this. This has been one of my favorite parts of the podcast I've been starting to do.
All right.
So let's say the camera is you 5 years from now.
Okay.
You're talking to yourself 5 years from now.
All right.
What do you got to say to yourself? Where do you want to be? What do you want to say to yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, hey man. You know, I do this to myself. I record myself.
You look right in the camera. This is you.
I do this to myself from time to time, and just record myself. And what's cool about this 5 year mark, and what we gonna claim and understand, is that we just want a couple million, nothing major. Millions are easy to get at this point. They're really easy to get at this point. If you put the work in, you should be able to get you a couple million. Some insurance plans, a house big enough to house all your kids, a couple of businesses. If 5 years, you should be good. You should be a couple million up, or at least a couple 100,000, to the point where you should be not worried about it. A couple of specials in and nice couple of movie appearances and shit like that. So all I tell you is to stay focused. Please don't back down. Stay doing what you're doing. And the more confident part about what you're doing is that nobody understands it. Nobody probably will, and it's not for them to understand this, but you have to keep recognizing, my dude, Larro the comedian. You have been one of the most gracious, respectful men that I've ever met when it comes to life, when it comes to comedy, to the culture, to the art, to your kids, and understanding everything else. So if I can tell you 5 years, if this is going to make it to me 5 years from now, just be proud of the fact that everything that you went through going to get you through even more, knowing that you're going to be an even big dog with a couple million behind you. That's it.
Okay. All right, let's take this picture. We can head out.